All right, Piranhas, we're on week 2, so we're gonna start with a new warm-up, a different warm-up, different routines, and once again, I
got my clean shirt on, repping you guys at home.
We got Jessica here to help me out, and here we go. Warm-up number 2 for week 2.
All right, guys, we are gonna start with butt kicks for 30 seconds just to get those hamstrings and that heart rate up and that blood flowing. You ready?
Ready? Let's
All right, let's go. Butt kicks for 30 seconds here. You're gonna keep those arms moving. You're gonna focus in on your breathing. In through the nose, out through the mouth. 20 seconds left here. Try to kick that butt. 2, 1. We're gonna go right into an overhead squat. You're gonna reach those arms all the way down, then reach them up and back up. And Hank, I'm gonna have you keep moving through this while I tie my shoe because
Safety first.
Yeah, right, safety first. So I'm gonna pause here. You keep going, Hank.
Now, when we're doing this, you really want to get the hips low and keep them back, correct?
Yep.
Weight on the
Push
back of your
those hips
heels.
all the way back as if you're reaching for a chair. Keep your core engaged here. Chest is lifted. We've got 5 more seconds here. Time. All right, we're gonna do an alternating back lunge with a rotation. So we're gonna back lunge with our right leg first. Drop that knee down. We're gonna rotate towards that same side.
Oh.
Opposite side. Yep, there you go. Back to the center and switch. Opposite leg, rotate, back to the center and back in. Nice job. All right, we're gonna drop down onto the floor into a tabletop position. So hands are directly underneath those shoulders, knees are directly underneath those hips. You're gonna lengthen through the spine here. We're gonna kick back, and Hank, you might need to scoot forward because you're a little bit taller than me. All right, you're gonna kick back with that opposite leg and opposite arm towards the front. Back to the center and switch. Time. All right, we're gonna come back up. We're gonna run through this one more time through to complete our warm-up for phase 2. All right, so the first movement is called a jumping jack. So we're gonna start with our feet and our hands together. We're gonna bring everything out laterally and then back together. So we're gonna jump out and then in. And you're gonna speed it up. So 1, 2, 3. You're gonna keep counting on the way up. And the whole time, I want you guys to think about keeping that core strong. So pulling that core in, that belly button in, and locking it in place. And you guys are gonna think about that breath too, getting oxygen to all those muscles that you're gonna be working. And all that oxygen helps keep everything working efficiently. So breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. All right, time.
All right, great job.
Better? All right, move number 2, we're gonna do a squat, okay? So we're gonna bring those feet about a little bit wider than hip width apart. And what you're gonna do is turn those toes out slightly, okay? You're gonna keep lifted through the spine, pull that core in. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna push those hips back as if you're reaching for a chair, and you're gonna sit down and then push through those heels as you come up and squeeze your glutes at the top. All right, back down, reach for that imaginary chair and come back up. Trying to keep those knees towards that 3rd toe and up. Nice job. Down. Squeeze those glutes as you come up. Give me 2 more, Hank. 1 more.
Putting me through my paces.
And time. Nice. All right, so now we're going to demonstrate the push-up, okay? So we're going to get into a high plank position. Your hands are a little bit wider than your shoulders here. You're going to extend those legs behind you. And both Hank and I are facing a different direction, so you guys can see 2 different directions here. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna tuck, not necessarily tuck those elbows in super tight, but you're gonna bring them out on a diagonal as you bring your body down, keeping a nice strong core throughout that push-up, okay? So 1 more rep here. Nice job. And then if you need to, you can drop down onto those knees to help with your form, right? Because you don't wanna drop your hips as you come down into a push-up. You can drop your knees if you need to. Push those feet up, and same thing. Bring your chest down. Elbows are going out on a diagonal and back up.
And when you're doing this, you don't want your hips up. Your butt is not in the air.
Yeah.
And you want to get all the way down to the ground.
Really keeping that core strong the whole way down and breathing in through the nose as you go down. Exhale as you push that floor away. Alrighty.
Now, what are some of the other modifications we could do with a normal push-up? Can we go belly push-up as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's another push-up where you could do where you come all the way down, really controlling the whole way down, releasing everything on the floor, and then activating your core and activating those legs and pushing back up. Control down, release, Activate the core and those legs and push back
And
up.
can we do this from the knees as well?
Yeah, absolutely. You can drop down to those knees, lower all the way down. Think about really pulling in your core here though, because you're not gonna have those legs, and pull everything in. Push that floor away and back up.
That was
Nice.
great.
A couple different variations to try.
Feeling that one.
All right, next exercise is gonna be a plank. So we're gonna demonstrate two different versions, a high plank and a low plank. So I'm gonna have Hank get into a low plank because it's a little bit harder, right? You like to see your coach sweat a little bit. So he's gonna focus on lining up those shoulders with his elbows. He's gonna lengthen through the top of his head. He's keeping his head lifted, right? So his neck is in line with his spine, right? He's not drooping through the hips. So he's keeping those hips lifted, pulling in through the core, and he's avoiding keeping those hips up. And he's extending through the legs, through those heels, right? So his legs are working here too. So everything in a plank
I'm shaking
is
quite a
working.
bit right now.
Right? So that's a low plank. And then what I'm gonna show you guys is I'm gonna come into a high plank, same form that Hank was in. Okay, I'm gonna extend through the back of my heels, lift my head up so that my head, neck is in line with my spine. And I'm just extending everything out and pulling in through the belly button and breathing in through the nose.
And if you need a little
out
help
through
with
the
this, you could move your feet apart. Your fingers are pointing forward and not out to the side. You could also, I believe, separate them if you want a little bit more, I don't know, a little bit more help with your shoulders. You should feel this where? Core.
Your whole core, so your whole abdominal muscle, your shoulders, your legs are going to take on some of that weight. And if you want a little bit more of a challenging plank, all you got to do is lift one leg, but make sure you really keep everything nice and strong here, okay? You can alternate if you want.
It's not easy, is it?
No, I'm shaking.
Ron, when you're done with your workout, it's always good to do some stretching. If you noticed in the beginning of the workout, we did some dynamic movements to warm up. End of workout, we could do some stretching. We can do some of my favorite stretches. One of them's gonna look familiar because it's also part of the warm up. You're gonna get down on your knees. You get into a Spider-Man. All right, from here, I like to do two things. Take your right hand, grab the right foot, left arm in the air. You can do that 4 or 5 times. And you can put the left arm down, right arm in the air. Okay? Also from the same position, I like doing some trunk twists. Now again, probably a better one to do would be arm reaches. It's a little less on your lower back, but nonetheless a good stretch. From here, again, put your left arm down, right hand on your leg, push that knee out a little bit, feel that in your hip flexor, feels really nice, and then you can lean back into a hamstring stretch. Maybe grab your toe, point the toe, pull it towards you, sit back, maybe get your butt up a little bit, head, chest towards the knee. Okay, so you feel it right in the back of your hamstring. Now you can do this on both sides, which will take you about 3 or 4 minutes. The last one I like doing, which is a little bit more advanced. You gotta be careful because you don't want to feel this in your knee, you want to feel this more in your hips. Push-up position, leg underneath, and just relax. You should feel this here. You should not feel it in your knee. If you feel it in your knee, take your opposite hip and roll towards, or not actually your hip and roll towards the floor. And if you could even get a little lower, head down, arms out. The last one I'm going to show you, if you could get to a wall in your house, it's great for your shoulders. Stretching them out, a little bit more by dynamic movement than a stretch, but nonetheless really good. Get your arms out, reach them up, come on back down. Okay, wall slides, really good. Again, if you're having a little hard time with your hands on the wall, probably you need to loosen up those shoulders. If nothing else, try and hold as best you can, or maybe it's hold and a reach. Either way, just trying to get those shoulders back and stretching out those muscles a little bit in the front upper pecs and in your back, which I believe are your scaps and your lats, and just a little bit of stretching at the end of your workout.